Today, we're talking about a new editing software. It's going to be a lot of information, but hang in there. I'll try my best not to rush through it. See what I did there? Pretty good, right?
Oh, my eye.
Hey, hello, how you doing? My name is Denzil Laughren and welcome to another one of my videos. If you're a returning viewer, then welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we're going to be talking about Adobe Premiere Rush. Now, if you don't know what Rush is, well then, you're in the right place. Basically, Rush is a brand new video editing software that was released by Adobe just a few days ago. Rush takes key features from Adobe Premiere, After Effects, Audition, and Photoshop and matches them together nice and tightly into one very intuitive, very user-friendly, and easy to learn software, and it's really geared towards people who want to edit quick, short videos in a rush if they're in a constrained amount of time. Now, in many ways, it really mimics Final Cut in the way that it's so user-friendly. But when you compare it to things like Adobe Premiere, Rush is a lot easier in terms of the learning curve. Really, it's a great program for anyone who's just starting out in video editing or someone who's interested in video editing and wants to start learning how to do it. Rush is a great program for that. Alright, well, without any further hesitation, let's hop in there and I'll show you the basics of Adobe Rush. I'm going to be on my laptop since, you know, it's mobile editing software. Alright, going down from left to right here, the very first button at the top left-hand corner is the Home button. Now this is the first screen that you'll see whenever you log into Adobe Rush. It's on this screen where you're going to be able to create a new project as well as see all your current and past projects. The next button to the right is the Edit pane. This is actually where you are now, and this is where you'll do the majority of your work. You'll see the timeline here, the program scheme, and all the tools that you'll use in the actual editing of your video. And finally, the last button here at the top left-hand corner is the Share pane. This is where you'll export and share the video you just created. The Share pane is really quite useful because once you've connected all your social media accounts, whether that be Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, this is where you'll be able to upload your videos directly to those websites after exporting. Now the beautiful thing about this is that you can upload your video either one at a time to these social media sites, or you can do them all at once. It's really a very handy feature, and I'm really glad that Rush has it because it really expedites and rushes that export experience. Moving down on the left-hand side of the screen, first thing you'll see is the blue Add button. With this, you can import your clips, your titles, or even start a voiceover recording. Take note though that when you are importing your clips, you want to make sure that you click your clips in the order that you want them imported. You see, in Adobe Rush, there are no bins, there are no libraries, there's nothing like that or anything similar to that like there is in Adobe Premiere. The clips that you import are imported directly onto the timeline. Luckily, the clips that you choose will be numbered in the order that they are clicked, and doing that makes it very easy to see what clips are going to go on your timeline in what order. Next down is the Project Assets page. It's here where you can see all the clips that you have imported into your current project. Now if you delete them off your timeline, you'll still have access to those clips in this asset page. So I guess this is pretty close to a bin or library, but yeah, the closest thing you'll have. Moving down, you have your Scissors button. This allows you to split the selected clip right where the playhead currently is. Wherever that playhead is on your timeline, if it's in the middle of a clip and you click the Scissors button, it's going to split that clip into two separate clips. This can also be done by pressing Ctrl K on your Windows keyboard or Command K on your Mac keyboard. The next button down is the Duplicate button. This button allows you to duplicate, that's such a hard word to say, oh my word. Allows you to This button allows you to duplicate the selected clip at will, placing a new clip on the timeline directly preceding the original. It's basically a copy-paste, but in a one-click manner. The button directly below that, the one that looks like a trash can, it deletes clips. It's the delete button. Nothing much, it's not really fancy, it's just the delete button. Just deletes the clip that you want deleted. Going right on down, the next button allows you to expand audio tracks in order to fine-tune your audio clips. Allows you to see the waveforms of the audio tracks. That way you can easily edit your clips and have them start and end wherever you want them to start and end. Ooh, okay, so this next button is pretty exciting. Really, it adds a lot of familiarity to Adobe Premiere users in the fact that when you click this button, you instantly gain access to the track controls where you're not only able to lock and unlock, mute and unmute, or hide and unhide tracks, but you're also able to enable a particular track of your choice for recording the voiceover. That way you can easily determine which track you want to record the voiceover to if that's something that you're trying to do to your video. Alright, moving right along, that's the end of the left side of the screen. Now we're right in the center of the screen. In the middle of the screen, right under the preview screen above the timeline, you'll see the play and pause button, the next and previous frame buttons, as well as the next and previous edit button. Just like Premiere, you can use the keyboard shortcuts for these, which is the spacebar and the arrow buttons, and it really allows you to speed through the timeline or travel through the timeline as much as you want, as fast as you want. Also, to the right of these buttons, you have the full screen button and the loop buttons. The full screen button allows you to make your video full screen so you can see all the grimy details of it. And the loop button allows you to loop your video over and over again, as if you were looping it on your Facebook profile or your Instagram story or etc. You also have the options of changing the orientation of your video from landscape to portrait. That way you can see what it will look like as if you're posting it to your Instagram story. And finally, here in the center, the last option you have is to change the quality of your preview, whether that be half the quality or a third the quality or a fourth the quality of the preview. Alright, I know this is a lot. Hang in there, we're almost there, I promise. In fact, before we continue, let's take a little bit of a yoga stretch break. Okay, that didn't work. Let's just move on, okay? Yeah. Alright. At the top right hand corner of your screen, you'll see a weird looking U-turn type arrow icon. That's actually the undo and redo buttons, or Control Z or Control Shift Z on your keyboard. Now, here's a quick tip for you. If you don't yet know any keyboard shortcuts, then you need to start learning them. Keyboard shortcuts can easily cut your editing time in half if used correctly. That might be a video in the future. I'll have to write that down. Okay, quick tip over. The next 5 buttons you need to be aware of are your toolboxes. So if you look here on the far right side of your screen, they encompass all the things that you need in order to edit your different parts of your video. First up, moving from the top to the bottom, you have your text or title tool. This tool allows you to edit the current title that you have selected. Now you can either create your own titles or you can import titles, whether that be from Adobe stock or from other outside sources. But in the text title toolbox, you have the ability to edit any element of any preset that you have imported. You can edit the title's font, the amount of outlines and shadows, as well as the sizes and characteristics of any shape elements that have been imported along with your title presets. Moving right along, the next toolbox is the transitions toolbox. Now currently at the time of recording this, which is October 21st, there are only 3 transitions that are available for you to use. I'm sure more will be added in the future updates. However, for right now you can only use the 3 that are already there. You can do one of 2 things with these presets though. You can either drag and drop the transition where you want it on the timeline, whether that be the end or beginning of the clip, or you can just click a transition and it will automatically be added to both the beginning and end of the selected clip. Okay, whew. Yes, this video, I warned you at the beginning, this video has a lot of information. Sorry. Let's try taking another yoga stretch break. Okay, you know what? I'm just not doing that again. No more. Okay. Alright, the next toolbox that you need to be aware of is the color correction toolbox. Like the title tool text box, the color correction toolbox allows you to edit freely the presets that are already there, but you can also be super creative and do all that work on your own if that's what you desire. You can even create and edit your own presets and save them for a later use too. Now the most straightforward toolbox besides the transitions toolbox is probably the audio toolbox. is really very minimal. You can change clip volume, mute, unmute the selected audio clip, add presets that add certain effects to your video clips, and you can even choose which channels you have as active, whether that be the left or right channel. But really, there's not much more to it than that. At least you have some audio editing features, but you can't do anything like keyframing or adding layers upon layers of effects to your audios like you would in Adobe Premiere. Alright, last but not least, the last button you have here on the far right side of the screen is the crop and rotate toolbox. This is where you're going to crop, rotate, move, change the opacity of your clip however you want it. It's where you're going to change the position of it. It's also where you're going to be able to add a vignette if that's what you're interested in. Maybe feather the edges. I don't know what you guys like to do on your videos, but that's where you're going to be doing that. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulate yourselves. You made it. I know there's a lot of information, but that is the basic description of all the buttons that you see in Rush. Overall, Rush is definitely a work in progress. I realized it was just released literally just a couple days ago, a little over a week and a half ago to be exact. But that in itself excites me because I get to see in using Rush how it's going to be updated in the future. There are a lot of things it does well, but there's also a lot of things that I would really like to see Adobe integrate, such as speed ramping. 18-second time lapses are huge to some creators, especially to myself, and a quick way of editing these would be a huge addition to Rush and a big advantage over the competition. Another thing I'd like to see is the ability to add transition presets or any effect presets, really, for that matter. For instance, if I were to create some presets in Adobe Premiere or After Effects, I would love to be able to just drag and drop those on certain clips in Rush and have the ability to add my style, my edits, my new Instagram story, or any other video that I'm creating in Rush. If Rush is really about creating things in a rush, it'd be nice to do all of that in a hurry, just to drag and drop at a certain effect on a certain clip, and it does what I want it to do. Alright, well, that's it. That's a basic overview of Adobe Rush. And really, Adobe Rush is very basic. It's very easy to use, very easy to learn, and gives you the tools that you need to quickly record, edit, and publish any short video, whether that be for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I personally would not use Rush for any type of video that requires a super complicated edit. For anything longer than a minute to minute 30, I'd probably go back to Adobe Premiere just because I'm really familiar with Premiere. I know how everything works. But if you're starting out, and you want to get a video out quick, and you want to start editing Instagram stories and other short loop videos for maybe your Facebook page, then Adobe Premiere Rush is a great platform for that, especially since it's on mobile platforms such as iOS and iPads and things like that. I personally run with a Galaxy Note 9, so I can't wait for Adobe Rush to come to the Android platform. I'll definitely be covering that in a future video, but until then, I'll just have to use my laptop or my desktop. I hope you guys liked the video, and I hope you perhaps learned something from this video. If you liked it and you want to see more videos like this, or if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or comment down below. I'd definitely be interested in making more videos like this and answering any questions that you have. And honestly, I'd love to connect with you and start building a community with you. So please, if you're interested, consider subscribing to me and joining me on my journey to 1,000 subscribers. You can also always connect with me on Instagram or Twitter. Those links will also be in the description below. As always, like it if you liked it, subscribe for more weekly content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, I'll see you later. I was trying to go for something super dramatic, but it didn't really work.